My experience with smelling salts has been, and I say has because I still am a purveyor. Yeah. When I started really working out back in like 2006, what I would do is on days when I was going to the gym and I was going to try to lift heavy, and I would go in and I would get changed and I'd get all fired up. I'd get my headphones in. I would go to the sink, get a good lather up, and then I'd work up a real nice lather. And once I got a real good one going, I would rub that soap directly into my eyes.
Oh, this is terrible.
And the adrenaline rush that you would get from that like dollar store soap just hitting your corneas. Welcome everybody to another edition of the Rockpile Report podcast. I'm your host, Bill, season ticket holder Drew Gear. That beer was rigged and about to explode all over me. That is my producer, Chris Kruger. In studio with us tonight, Mr. Anthony Prohaska, who has been itching to have a sip of this fantastic-looking beverage. Chris, first of all, Anthony.
It's not a whiskey
sour.
How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. This, I think all your beers exploded the last time I was here. So
yes, every single one of them, which is how you're here, so I was ready.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. So, well, I guess that kind of...
What's that for? You don't have to get ready if you stay ready?
That's right. That's exactly right. Yeah, what, you said it's whiskey sour adjacent.
It's got the same ingredients as a whiskey sour plus one.
Okay. Can I drink it now?
Yes. We need your official taste.
Oh, I really like it. What's the plus one?
It's a black currant liqueur.
Oh,
it's called a bourbon renewal.
I feel like it made it like smoother, and I like the way it's mixed with the sour aspect. This is really good.
Yeah, bourbon renewal.
I like this.
See, this is the problem. It is hard to stay sober around Chris.
This is delicious. I'm very pleased.
It is hard. So, a lot of things in the headlines this week. Usually we use these shows, we're obviously going to talk about things that are in the headlines, things that are Bills adjacent, the upcoming preseason game. There's a lot of ground to cover, but one of them, there are a couple headlines. First one that caught me off guard this week was the NFL, what was first talked about as a ban on smelling salts.
Oh, yeah, I saw that from Kittle.
And then eventually it was outed as and I wonder if this was true, I almost feel like they tried to ban the smelling salts and then realized the push. They saw the pushback and they walked it back to the 50-yard line and said, okay, we just don't want the teams providing them. You guys as players can do whatever you want. The team can't give it to you anymore. First of all, was it the owner of the Cardinals, Bidwell, who came up with that? Or maybe, what was it? Well, they're notoriously cheap. They make the players pay for cleaning the towels that they shower with.
Cincinnati Bengals.
That's what I'm talking about. First of all, I want to know the owner who proposed this.
That's crazy.
They're a cheapskate.
That's so unnecessary.
But then it was Anthony, I don't know. You've been around the block a time or two. I wanted to ask you. I see this. First of all, does smelling salts, Chris, they use them in hockey all the time. You always see hockey players on the bench, just at the start of a period. Is there an inherent impact on the competitive nature of football if you take the smelling salts out of it?
Oh, I think there's a physical element to it for how it kind of wakes you up and might get you going a little bit. I think a lot of it is largely, I would imagine at this point for the guys who regularly use it, I'm sure there's some kind of physical piece that they like. I feel like a lot of it is mental. It's become part of your routine. And I was like that. I mean, I'm also superstitious and super paranoid as a person, so I'm probably not the right guy to ask. But if I had been cracking a smelling salt to start the second half every week for years, I would be pissed. I put my socks on the same way, my shorts on the same way, everything. So I don't want anything to change in that regard. And especially for dudes like Kittle cracks them a lot. Josh Allen cracks them a bunch. I think they're
wild men.
I've done smelling salts once, and I didn't obviously stay with it. And I don't remember how I did on it after I did it or whatever. But yeah, that's so dumb.
Did you see what Baker said about it?
I did not.
Oh, Baker said, they kind of jumped to conclusions on it, but you usually get it to, come to after you get knocked out. Mm-hmm. So we know you got a concussion, so you're not going back in the game again. Yeah. So why ban smelling? Like, it's going to wake you up, but I'm still not going back in the game because, you know, you got the concussion spotter. I'm out of the game.
Yeah, you're done. You know what's funny? That's the first thing I was thinking of. Jim Carrey and Cable Guy. He's like, wake up, Blue Snoozy. Smell salts. That's the first thing I think of when I think of smelling salts. Yeah, and Kittle was like kind of jokingly pissed, but also kind of like actually pissed about it.
Well, sure, because again, to your point, these guys have been doing this a certain way for their entire lives.
And professional athletes are creatures of habit.
Yeah.
Like as tiny or as stupid as that habit might seem, it matters.
There was a point, I'm trying to think of what season it was, but it was like the team was playing back-to-back games. I think it was that year we played in the Meadowlands twice to start the season, where we played Jets week 1 and then Giants week 2, both away games.
Yeah.
And they talked about how the Bills stayed in the same hotel. Yep. They kept the same itinerary. They kept the same schedule. They ate at the same restaurants. Like, they kept everything the same because that's how you prepare for things as an athlete. I just feel like making a radical change like that for no reason. For no reason. It's not like this is a health risk.
No.
They're like, well, ammonia-based inhalants aren't healthy for it. Or are you just trying to be cheap? And
that's what it is, too. Like, especially if you're, like, not staying steadfast to the point of, like, no, we wanted them out of the league, like, they're out of the league. Now you're like, well, the teams can't provide it, so players can do. So you don't care about the smelling salts. You care about the cost.
And right now, every smart owner of a smelling salt company is out there going, I've got branding opportunities now. Fair. If I can get my bottle in the hands of Josh Allen.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's fair.
Dude, huge come up. It's funny you say you only tried it once. That surprised me.
I switched over to, like, I would do, whether I needed it or not, I would do, like, a shot of, like, 5-hour energy, like 45 minutes, like, before game time. And I got into, like, a very specific, through high school and then through college, I got into a very specific, like, routine. And that even to, like, down to, like, what I ate the night before, what I ate the morning of, depending on, like, what time the game was. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't remember. It was in high school that I did it. I think my senior year. I don't remember anything positively or negatively. I remember definitely, like, doing it and going, like, oh, Jesus. Like, and I was like, I'm out. Like, no thanks.
See, my experience with smelling salts has been, and I say has because I still am a purveyor. Yeah. Now, I want to preface this here. When I started really working out back in, like, 2006, pre-workout wasn't everywhere. It wasn't prevalent. Yes. It wasn't widely available the way that it is now.
Creatine was barely a thing, like, at that time too.
So what I would do is on days when I was going to the gym and I was going to try to lift heavy.
Bump a Coke.
Well, no, what I would do is I would go into the gym, and you know how cheap gyms, like, it was like a Gold's Gym in Hamburg, New York. And I would go in and I would get changed and I'd get all fired up. I'd get my headphones in. I was so cheap. I didn't even have a iPod. I had a Discman that was anti-shock, and I would shove it into I could only buy the And One gym shorts because they were the only ones with the pockets big enough.
Fit, yeah. So that way there was anti-shock, so you could still do your stuff in the CD wouldn't skip.
Yep. That's how cheap I was. I would go to the sink, get a good lather up, and I would wash my face, and I'd whatever, and I'd get all clean, and I'd be like, all right, we're gonna go sweat this out today. And then I'd work up a real nice lather, and once I got a real good one going, I would rub that soap directly into my eyes.
Oh, this is terrible.
And the adrenaline rush that you would get from that, like, dollar store soap just hitting your corneas, that's what I would then ride out there and immediately go, like, try to do chest presses.
Oh, that's terrible. I would just go home.
And I did that for years. And so you can understand why, like, it developed a pretty negative reputation in the locker room and around the gym.
People are like, who's this idiot? This guy.
Who's this idiot?
It's a soap in the eyes guy.
Yeah, well, like, what the hell's wrong with that guy? So then fast forward to the day that smelling salts all of a sudden are just widely available on Amazon.
Oh, no.
And I had a funny funny experience with them because I'll tell you what, the first time you hit them, you always do it too hard. You always do it too hard the first time because you underestimate. And if you read the directions, you're supposed to open the cap and waft it towards your face. Not what you see these NFL players.
Yeah, I didn't do that the first time. I literally cracked. Yeah.
Well, because you watch Josh Allen do it, and so I go, oh, of course I could do that. And I take the cap off. You take the cap off. There's a cotton ball in there. You wet the cotton ball, put it in, shake it. You go, oh, okay, good. I'm good to go. You take the cap off, and it's like, you feel like that's what it must have been like for Marty McFly when the car hit 88 miles an hour. and just like took off. That's the sensation when you get hit by it the first time.
Yeah.
And so I'm at the gym and I'm getting into a habit of doing this where
Question, or when you're doing the smelling salts, is the soap in the eyes no longer a thing?
no longer a thing. It's out the
got
window.
it.
I
Okay,
went to pre-work for a while, pre-workout.
Okay, got it. Okay.
And then so I start doing these smelling salts in the middle of the workout to keep that feeling going.
In addition to doing it before the workout?
And here's the thing. Some guys, I realize that there's some guys who are like, okay, I'm going to do a hit, get the adrenaline pump, and then I'm going to go like deadlift.
Okay.
And then that's the end. I'm just going back to my cubby every 15 minutes, like someone who's looking for key bumps, just
you said
taking
you have
fresh
a problem.
hits
You,
and
it's
doing
habit
this.
forming.
And the problem is that you do look like a crazy person when you're doing this. And so there happens to be a day at my gym. It was the Catalyst Fitness on French Road. There's a Zumba room that's a fishbowl. It's wide open with a stage on it. And it's a random Saturday afternoon, and there's been no signage or advertising, but there is a dance squad tryout for women between the ages of 18 and 25. A competitive dance troupe tryout there that afternoon.
Okay.
First of all, you can't spring that on guys at the gym. Every guy who brought his girlfriend or significant other, wife, didn't matter. You could tell that room was like the sun. You can't look like you glance just to make sure it exists, but you don't dare stare at it for more than 3 seconds. So here I am doing my just smelling salt, just
Hopped up.
and I turn and look, like instead of turning to the left and going back to the weights, I turn to the right and I look back at, like I catch myself and there's 4 women just staring at me inside there.
You're like a psycho.
And well, this is the thing, because I realize I catch my own kind of reflection and I realize I've got crazy eyes.
I was waiting for you to be like, oh, I'm bleeding from my nose.
And it dawns on me, I've been walking around this place for months just looking like an absolute maniac.
Yeah, you're coked up on smelling salts.
So then I was like, all right, well, we gotta dial this back in public.
In general, not just in public. You just like hide it in your sock drawers at home.
I still do it walking around the house sometimes. If I'm feeling a little logy in the
I
afternoon.
just feel like you go to the room and just shut the door and the kids just hear, yeah! And it's just like, what happened?
Every once in a while, and it just makes my wife like, she goes, she'll hear it and go, idiot.
Yeah, I always say that tracks. Idiot.
We're all come walking out with just eyes like this. Hey, honey, what do you need help with out here
fire
for
up the
dinner?
grill.
Yeah, what do you need help with for dinner? I could do it right now. I could do it so fast. I could make that salad better than anyone's ever made it.
We need steaks. We're out. Let me go kill a cow. I'll be right back.
I understand why you might want to ban it from everyday life, why you might want to ban it from public gyms, but you can't ban that shit from NFL sidelines. That feeling, that sensation, I feel like that's what the NFL is. That's what it is for these guys.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
It's a different league.
No, it's not.
Thanks a lot, Bin Laden.
Anthony, when you come back the next time you come on the show, I'm going to replace all the bourbon with smelling salts.
Chris, do us a favor while we're talking here about preseason football. Can you get us the Ravens game?
Yeah.
Can you get us the Ravens game over here? So there was something else too, and I saw in the media. Obviously, I flipped out about that. I was like, of course, I saw it, and I did a what is it?
Bump of smelling salts.
No, who's the guy from the 10 Commandments? Because I was just like, from my cold dead hands, they'll take these.
Oh, Will
salts.
Ospreay, aerial assassin.
I'm happy you brought this. I'm happy you went there. I'm perusing the headlines and I see something else that I think is stupid. ESPN is really, like, Disney is really trying to get itself involved everywhere it can, and they're spending loads of cash in the pursuit of this. Yeah. How do you feel about the fact that the Disney, essentially, it is ESPN, but it's Disney, has bought its way into not only NFL Network, but also ownership of the premium pay-per-view events for the WWE.
Premium live events.
Yeah, the PLEs. I don't like it with them buying the NFL Network. I mean, honestly, a lot of the NFL.
If I told you that Disney, if I went back to 95, if I went back to the Attitude Era and I were to tell you, hey guys, one day Disney's going to own this.
It's super funny. It's super funny. Yeah, it's a weird mix, but they're trying to get their hands on everything, and I don't like most of their sports coverage now. So it's not. They have a couple of really good people, like Mina Kimes is awesome, but they don't have. I don't know. I'm scared for what they're going to do to Red Zone. a lot of the other NFL Network like analysts and content wasn't great already, so it's kind of like a wash. And then, yeah, the PLE stuff. Like, apparently, if you already have ESPN as like a cable person, you'll get you don't have to pay anything for the PLEs. I read that, so it's not necessarily like an upcharge. But yeah, it's weird. And I also don't like it. I mean, this is a conversation for another time, but I'm just completely out on WWE with it. I mean, the in-ring action is just nowhere close to AEW, and that's been that way for years. AEW is miles above. Ring of Honor was miles above and is miles above still. There you got some people who can still go in WWE, but the in-ring action is not great for me. I think a lot of things suck, and it's just a haven for people who are morally bankrupt in a multitude of forms and fashions from the top down. And so I'm just completely out.
Do we feel like market consolidation like this is a good thing or a bad thing when it comes to sports coverage?
I don't know. As someone that only buys sports coverage in season, I was kind of reading up on the ESPN direct to consumer thing that they're releasing, and I think I'm going to stay the course in a couple weeks when college starts. I'm going to buy a Sling TV package, run with that, use that to log into the ESPN app if I need it. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be getting that direct-to-consumer ESPN package. It doesn't seem worth it to me for the price.
Is that going to replace ESPN Plus then? Does ESPN Plus go away?
No. It's another added charge.
Well, from a WWE perspective now, to like watch anything, you need like Netflix, you need like ESPN.
And this is where
Fox.
And this is what I'm trying to get at here. Market consolidation when it comes to media is rarely ever good for the consumer. So for us, consumers of NFL football, it's probably not great that the same company that already gets Monday Night Football and a bunch of, they cherry pick a couple games a year here and there when it's like holiday weekends. They're trying to, I mean, they can't compete with companies like Netflix and Amazon when it comes to trying to buy individual games. But
I hate the individual games on Netflix and Amazon.
And here we are. It doesn't matter what you like.
And I have those services. Yeah, it doesn't matter. The Rock. I don't know. It just feels all very, this is like probably like a stupid take or thing that, I mean, it doesn't really bother me, but like, it just all feels so, I don't like how commercialized sports feel. Like everything is like, you know what? I mean, WWE is what it is like, but they're a good example too. Like ever since they made the move to Netflix, like their ring has like 75 different ads on it. Like I don't like the ads on all over I don't like the ads on, I understood it for soccer jerseys for years. I don't like the ads on the baseball jerseys. I don't like the ads on like the NBA jerseys. And then everything now, yeah, you have to like think about to be able to watch like all primetime games for the NFL, you need like 5 different channel avenues or services to be able to. And some people can't afford that. Some people don't have the option. Like I have older members of my family who like we're going to do, it's a holiday or whatever. I'm like, oh yeah, let's watch the game. And I'm like, cool. Do you have like a smart TV and Netflix? Because that's where the game is. Oh, it's Thursday night. Do you have Amazon Prime and a smart TV? No, well, we're not watching it then.
So,
well, here's my thing.
That's a good poll.
Here's my thing with the way I watch sports. My number one's hockey.
Yes.
So ESPN Plus is a necessity.
Absolutely.
And I go with Sling TV because I can get the NHL Network in the sports package.
Nice.
And it's the cheapest out of every, streaming platform, and NHL Network's on very few. Now, the second thing that I'm going to watch is football, and I'm going to account for Drew and I are at the stadium for half the games.
Fair.
Out of 17 weeks. We're going to be at the stadium. So I don't need to have the YouTube ticket because even though we park at dock slot and leave early, I'm not getting home till 5 o'clock. So it's like almost halftime of the late game.
Yeah.
So to me, it's
a wash.
It's a wash. I'm not getting, I'm not buying the NFL package on YouTube or any of that because I'm at the stadium half the time. It's That's like fair. A waste of money for me.
Well, look at like right now, there's a preseason game on. It's on right now.
On NFL Network, I think.
Which I don't have Sling TV, so we're not watching it.
So here's what I love. It's on right now. At 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, whatever, there's going to be another one that airs out on the West Coast.
Yes.
Because there's 2 of them. We're now making like the Thursdays, like it's not Prime. This isn't Thursday Night Football, but they've normalized the takeover of yet another day.
They won't stop.
And so the NFL just keeps expanding its sphere of influence. But so what Anthony was commenting on earlier is I found here that according to Market Watch, depending on what specific options you want to add to your package, if you're a football fan without traditional cable, or it would cost you to watch every single game this season
over $1,000,
$850 to $1,600, depending on the region you live in, and the package options that are available to you depending on your services and software.
That's absolutely crazy. And I say this as a person who, like, I have cable, like I haven't completely cut the cord, and then I think I do like what a lot of people do, like share. You have different, like I have Netflix, but so and so has something else, and so we all kind of like, oh, if I'll get this, you get that, and then we share passwords or account for all the streaming services. But I have cable, but so many people have cut the cord and do like YouTube TV or Sling year round or like everything to you over there, like, and not even just in season, all year round. Yeah, it's
some of us have gone a little farther down the rabbit hole, but I'll talk about that off the air.
Sitting in the middle of like the woods with like a radio. The original streaming, the original streaming platform. Yeah, and that's all. Like, and again, I get it. Like the NFL and how much money it generates, and how, and again, it's crept. My thing too is it's crept into everything, right? Like the rules for the game with how you can't hit people and you can't really touch an offensive player and you can't hit the quarterback and you can't do this. If you breathe the wrong way on a receiver, it's a flag. And then like the lack of another preseason game, but an extra regular season game. They're going to try and push it even farther. Like everything is all just, that's also funny too. And like in an ironic state, like you, like so many things are like, oh, it's player safety. But then you're like adding another fucking regular season game without a bye week. Like you don't give a fuck about player safety. Like it's just, it just feels very commercialized and hollow in a lot of aspects, but also like I'm sitting here watching it every week, so I should probably just shut the fuck up and just watch the football. Like it's just.
Are you aware of the Clay Travis method to fixing the NFL scheduling?
I don't pay attention to anything that he has to say, so no, I'm not.
Here's what it is. You add that extra game in, add the other bye week. Now you're having the Super Bowl the Sunday before President's Day. So
so we get the day off.
Most people with a federal job, you get President's Day off, so you don't have to call off the next day.
I've always said loaded. And I'm one of many people who said this, like the day after the Super Bowl should always just be a national holiday for America. And maybe even a world holiday. Why not? But I like that idea. I'd sign up for that.
So it's just interesting to me that at a time when we all kind of see what's going on in the marketplace, what's going on around the world, consolidation of markets rarely ever helps anyone. Usually it just makes things worse.
Yeah, usually. Again, ironically, not to keep bringing it back to it, WWE cornered the market on wrestling for years, and it sucked. It made wrestling terrible, and that's just anybody usually gets that
competition,
monopoly.
And without competition, things get lazy. Things get greedy.
You end up with Judy Bagwell on a pole match.
That is the thing that happened. Oh, Judy.
So it's just this idea that for everybody who's looking forward to this upcoming NFL season, as we move inexorably closer to it,
good word.
It's just all of these networks and these companies and these brands and these streaming services and platforms and everybody who's out there just trying to rake cash in. And
just trying to get a piece.
They're doing it at a year over year over year. This consolidation's happening it's happening faster and faster.
It's aggressive. It's aggressive,
and I don't know where it stops.
Yeah,
I mean, does something bad have to happen? Like one of the most interesting things out of this, I pulled up the article here, is that as a part of this deal, ESPN is going to assume the lease at NFL Network's 75,000 square foot LA studio. What is ESPN going to do with that? ESPN has existed in Connecticut in a place where it's cheap and business friendly forever.
They've had LA offices for a while, though.
They have. Now you're going to get 75,000 square feet of them?
I wonder how that compares to their Connecticut home base, their campus there.
And I wonder how much of this was the NFL going, you're going to take this albatross off our hands?
You're going to take this lease? That's okay. Thank you.
Great.
Pay the mortgage.
And this is what I mean. It's just everybody's trying to outgrift one another on their way to controlling a giant stake of something that we happen to give a shit about, and we don't want them to ruin in the process.
And that's I think the large fear. But then I wonder how, I think the NFL product has gotten watered down and shittier in a lot of ways. But also I'm still sitting here consuming it at a high clip, and obviously covering it in a somewhat part-time fashion. Not even somewhat, in a part-time to full-time fashion at times. Especially in season, I'm putting in anywhere from like probably 30 to 40 hours of film on top of my day job. So that, I'm probably not the best. I'm probably just speaking out of both sides of my mouth. But yeah, it is weird. Like I just don't. I like love it, but I like love football and like the NFL, but I also feel like a lot of trepidation around it and uneasy, if that also makes sense. Mm-hmm. Like it's just, and I don't know. I didn't used to feel that way, and I don't know if that is like.
Some of it's age.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Like, I don't know if like you grow up and kind of the, starry-eyed kid aspect to you kind of wears off a little bit and you see the world more for what it is. This show is really taking a different turn than I thought it was.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, it's weird. Like, and I guess I haven't really thought of it or like come to grips with that for now. I mean, I'm very pessimistic about the world and society, especially in America now with how things are. But like, yeah, it's just. It is. I to your point. I wonder what's the next step from here? Like, not to make a monopoly like a low hanging fruit joke, but like, okay, like you've got the greens and you've got the yellows. Are you going for like Boardwalk and Park Place next? Are you going for the railroads? Like in this instance, I feel like ESPN's got like, I don't know, like the railroads, the yellows and the greens. So then it's like, okay, are you just hoping to not land on that, or is it like no, they're going for more and they're going for more, and like what is the next step? How many next steps are there? And what does it do to the product? What does it do to the coverage? Because the coverage already sucks. Like, you've got mad people covering, like, sports who don't know shit about sports, even on, like, ESPN, and it's just...
Kendrick Perkins.
Yeah. Oh, it's all just... I mean...
At the end of the day, what we're seeing is a deterioration of something that we used to hold in high esteem.
Yeah.
And I think that consolidation of this doesn't make it better.
No,
it can all,
especially if it doesn't help. Especially if it's being consolidated by the people who aren't like providing the good content that you want to see. You know what I mean? Like it's not like so and so bought this. Oh well, everything they touch is gold. So then this is better. No, it's like you're getting more from someone who's already doing shitty, and they're being rewarded by having more coverage. And so it's like, well, they're not gonna. The chickens aren't coming to roost because they're not going to be like, well, we got to change. We got to get better. No, if anything, they're just going to keep doing what they're doing because it shows the formulas work. But a lot of us think the formula sucks.
Yep.
But like everybody and their mother is like Stephen A. sucks or Kendrick Perkins sucks or whoever like covers this or I can't believe this is our announce crew for this game. Well, guess what? Like they just acquired the NFL further.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not going to change the methodology.
The NHL, my wife hates the NHL broadcasters.
Oh,
when ESPN produces the NHL games, she hates them.
And it used to be so good back in the day with who was it? Gary Thorne. Gary Thorne. Yep. Who also does stuff I think for like the
he did stuff for the Orioles.
Yes, I can still hear him doing the Yzerman OT winner against the Blues in double OT. Just like man, like you had some great voices, Steve Levy and like Barry Melrose and NHL Tonight and all the coverage. Yeah, it's just. That's also weird too to kind of like, I'm sure me like so many other kids who grew up in like the 90s and 2000s, like you, especially like, even during school, but especially in the summer, like you stayed up to watch SportsCenter at night. You watched SportsCenter in the morning.
SportsCenter was king.
Yep, yeah. I remember waiting for like Baseball Tonight to start with Harold Reynolds and the crew.
My buddies had a house. There was 3 dudes sharing a house, and they had one massive TV. This is in the days before flat screen. They had a massive projection TV.
I was going to say a projection-based TV with the huge backs to it.
Big-ass Magnavox TV. And then another TV, wall-mounted, before wall mounting was fashionable, that only played ESPN just so that SportsCenter was on all day inside the house. And it never got shut off. It ran 24/7 in their living room, and it was the coolest thing like. It was awesome. I remember waking up there after a number of Super Bowl parties. You know, I was there the year that the Giants beat Brady for the second time in the Super Bowl.
Glorious.
And waking up in a beanbag chair at like 7:50 a.m. and you're looking around like, is it daylight? I don't have a shirt on. Where is everybody? Where am I? Oh, look, SportsCenter.
Yeah, there you go.
And you just sit there and you go, oh, nice. My day, you know what? Yeah. I was worried about how my day was going to go, but this is pretty cool.
And then even at night, like evening, I remember being like, oh, I got to see what happened on PTI or like Around the Horn. And now it's very much not that. And
now it's just idiots yelling at each other, trying to see like
that's what it is.
Trying to pull a Joy Taylor and see who can race to the bottom fastest. I worry about where sports media is going.
And it's also interesting too, considering we're doing like a podcast, and it seems like more people who want, I don't want to say like this sounds like gatekeepy or like dickish, but like more people who want like the actual coverage of like sports are like moving more towards podcasts and consuming more of that content because they know like, yeah, I don't want to see Stephen A yell about football when he doesn't know shit about football. I want to hear what like so and so has to say because I want to know.
What's really funny? There are people who tune in here to hear me yell about football, and then in the same breath will say, "Oh, Drew doesn't know shit about football."
Yeah, but I think it's different when it's. I don't think that rings. I don't think the knowledge is or the lack thereof for people is what makes it largely like shitty in the national light. I think it's the lack of knowledge. It's the constant like. You can tell, like, the people yelling about stuff on TV are being, like, fed lines from the... Like, they showed up at 5 a.m.
You could put Stephen A. Smith on an NHL debate show. Like, a version of...
You could put him on anything, because he's going to... Whatever he's talking about, he's getting his lines.
He's talking about running for politics, and I think he debates better than most people, and I think there's some politicians out there who underestimate what a tough time they would have in a debate forum with Stephen A. Smith.
He can debate with the best of them. He's also a huge piece... He's also a huge piece of shit, so... Teach their own.
But there is one thing out there that maybe can save media for Bills fans, and that is our beloved Hard Knocks.
Oh man, yeah, the thing that will unite everyone.
Well, I gave you my thoughts on this off air before we started.
While we were eating some delicious one pie pizza.
How I think that the Bills could save the Hard Knocks franchise.
And that was a fair take.
Exactly. By the time you explain it, you go, look, give me something wholesome for a change. I don't need Jerry Springer. We've gotten tired of that. You know what I want to see? I want to see good people doing good things and then being good at the game of football. And knowing that the team is so good, it almost makes the struggle of these other guys to make that team more compelling. Like if they go from what episode 1 was, which we'll talk briefly about because this isn't like a Real Housewives synopsis podcast, but I feel like I want to talk about it a little bit. I love the way the first show went. People called it boring. I love the fact that they set the table for this kind of thing. They go, look at this diehard fan base. Here is your star quarterback who's just oozes charisma and just being a good dude. Here's these coaches and these GMs who are just transparent and humble, and they don't speak in buzzword, viral worthy, tweet worthy clips. And
if anything, they're the antithesis of that. They give you nothing really to work with.
They give you nothing. They just talk to you frankly.
Yeah.
And you see comeback stories like Trey White and just how it's genuine, how much he loves being here, but also how badly he wants this. You get to see that. Like we speculated about it, Chris. I was talking about Trey White, like he's a competitor. You get to see it in that first episode. Like this guy wants this to work out more than I think he wanted the LA thing to work out.
Oh, absolutely.
And so you use this as a canvas to now make some of the individual stories of these players who are on the bubble more compelling, because now it's not what you've shown everybody for a decade, which is here's a bad football team who is just looking for somebody to be compelling. No, this thing's great. This thing might go compete for a title. Look how badly these guys want to be a part of it. That's compelling.
Yeah.
And it's altruistic at the same time.
Yeah.
I love it. What was your favorite part if you had to pick one? What scene really spoke to you?
I have two. The one is my hands down number one, but I loved seeing Trey running hills that one day after practice, and it just highlights
with his helmet on.
Well, yeah, and full pads. Like he was full gear, kitted up. I think it really just highlighted. I think I thought he would be a really good corner 3. He's looked great in camp. He surpassed even my expectations, but I think it really just highlighted, like, as nostalgic and nice as it was, like, yeah, like, Trey's back. Like, he came back here to, like, win that fucking job. Like, he came here to beat Max Hairston. He's not here to, like, just mentor him. He came
prodigal
here to
son, Trey White.
Yeah. He came here, and you could tell, like, he wants it. Like, he feels good mentally, physically. He wants to start, and you see that. Like, the mentality, the tenacity. You saw Coach Adai, like, I think he's the one who was yelling all throughout Hard Knocks, like, yeah, T. White. Like, everybody was slacking. He was out in the garage, like, working this and that, blah, blah, blah. That was great. But my hands-down favorite part was after Hairston's knee injury, which, that sucked. But seeing Benford going up to me like, "Oh, you all right?" And he was like, he just grabbed him and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna pray for you." And he did a prayer with him / for him. And I just thought, I tweeted this too, like Benford is he's one of the best players on the team. He's one of the better players in the league, even though he does not get anywhere close to the recognition nationally that he should. But even with
keep Benford a secret.
That's fair. But even within that, I think part of the reason he's a secret, he's like
understated.
He's understated. He's quiet. He's almost kind of stoic. You don't hear a lot or see a lot from him. And
so One Bills Live, the day he signed his contract.
Yeah.
One Bills Live did a segment with him.
Yeah.
And it was the driest segment ever because he just doesn't have much to say.
He's just about his business. But I thought it was like he is, with the contract that he got and his age and the position that he plays, he is a significant part. And with how good he is a significant part of the new core going forward. And I just thought it was awesome to see like one of your most important guys for this season and for the future, like immediately show that kind of leadership and compassion to like grab this rookie. And again, it may seem small I just thought that was like great. Like, and I thought that was like really awesome. Him just for to go, "Yo, you all right?" And then like grabbing him, praying for him. You could tell it was heartfelt and genuine. I thought that was awesome. That was hands down my favorite part.
Chris, this might tickle your fancy. Do you recall, maybe you missed it, there was a moment that like I rewound and rewatched and then rewound it again and made my wife watch it, where Dawson Knox is packing his suitcase and his wife is
Okay, I wasn't gonna guess that.
She goes, it's crazy to me that 2 weeks of your clothes fit in a carry-on. And he's like, "Yeah, because I'm a dude." Look,
I didn't even catch that. I saw her folding it up and how they packed it, but I was kind of talking to my wife as that was happening. I missed the dialogue.
Chris, would you be able to take 2 weeks of clothes in a carry-on?
100%.
As a resident fashionista, you'd be all right with that?
I could do that, no problem.
I was gonna say I could do that, no problem, but I'm not a fashionista.
Because we're dudes. It's like
that's what dudes do.
For us, the core thing is underwear. You give me enough underwear, I can do
underwear, undershirts, and socks. Yeah, I'm thinking of like when I've gone to Disney for like 7-8 days, and I can pack. So you have to have enough clothes for the 7 and 8 days, but you also kind of have like backups or extra because you're going to Disney during one day and then you're going to dinner that night. So if you're there for 7, you almost need like 15 or 16 like outfits plus the socks, the boxers, undershirts. I can pack all of that into a medium to large size duffel.
Yeah,
relatively easily because I'm terrified of like my luggage always being lost, so I only pack stuff into a carry-on.
No, I try never to check a bag.
Yeah, I'm not checking a bag. So
I'm also cheap,
so it doesn't matter where. That's fair. Oh man, yeah.
Are you a Disney adult?
Out.
What is it? Well, I don't know who to answer first. You both spoke at the same time. I don't know what to do.
Are you a Disney adult?
I love the shit out of Disney World, and we go. Prior to COVID, my wife and I were going every other year, either with like just us two or like with family. I'm not like dressing up.
Okay.
But I think like Disney.
I was about to walk out of the room.
No, I think Disney is absolutely like, again, it depends on what you define as like Disney adult. But I absolutely love Disney. No, I'm there wearing like a wrestling shirt or like a sports shirt and like basketball shorts, but I geek out for like Disney. Like
I can do the perfect cast from a Goofy movie. And I would have done that on the way out the door if you had told me that you were one of these costume people running around.
Oh, no, I'm not a costume, but I think Disney is, I mean, it's their commitment to like the customer service piece, but just like you just feel like you're transported into a world at all the different parks. And the rides are great. Like I think Space Mountain's amazing, but yeah, I love the hell out of Disney.
So the other thing that I caught was Joe Brady talking about clearing routes.
Yeah, he called it the Joe Brady route.
He goes, "You are never going to get," and I love the emphasis. And that's what I think, like, people watching that, they go, "Okay, cool, he's talking about it." I go, no, you don't understand. He is trying to drive this into the head of every single kid trying to make this roster. That is what I need from you.
Just got to do your job.
Don't pay attention to Khalil Shakir running down the field with the football in his hands. That's not what's going to make you great in my system.
And he said something of like, I don't care how many catches you get or yards you get. He's like, I care about you doing your job.
Do your job. So on this play, you're running, like, let's say you're running a smash. Okay? Smash concept.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you know the ball, like, this play is not designed for you. Doesn't matter. If you're on the other side of the field and you know that the ball's not designed for you, you still run your route fucking hard.
You have to pull coverage.
You still pull it. If you're over there on the other side and you know that the play call is meant to go to the left hash,
might come back your way. You got to run your route.
Still run the fuck out of your route because you don't know if that guy catches it on the under route.
Run the fuck out of it. You might need to block.
On that one he was talking about, he goes, look, you cleared that man out. Ray Davis is downfield blocking.
Oh, yeah, and then I think Shavers was the receiver coming from the other side who was helping to block for Shakir so Shakir could cut back.
And he was adamant that is a Joe Brady route because these plays don't succeed without that.
Everybody eats.
And that's the thing. Everybody eats. I think everyone has this idea that means, okay, if you wait your turn, you'll get the ball. No. It means you go out there and on every single snap, you play like you want the ball. And when the ball's in the air, you do whatever your job requires.
It's very Sean McDermott, like do your 111th. It's very honestly Bill Belichick with just do your job.
Do your job.
Doesn't matter what's going. If you're a corner and you're supposed to, cover the flat on this play, like cover the flat. Like do your job. Everybody needs to do their job. That's
Go
it.
do that thing. We are the coaching staff. We get paid to design it. You get paid to run it. Go do your job.
Do your job.
And that moment for me, I think was great. Like, what do you think the importance of that dynamic is going to be for this wide receiver group this season, considering, even though some local radio jockeys might have taken it on the chin over this, the Bills really didn't do anything dynamic to change the makeup of the wide receiver room.
Yeah.
So how important does that piece of coaching and that thing that we got to see just a sliver of, how much does that matter?
I mean, it matters a lot, even just in the passing game, because there's so many. I mean, this is also tied into the Gabe Davis conversation for years, because people used to be like, oh, like, all these advanced metrics would show his lack of success on all these routes. And it was like, oh, he's running all these routes and like the yards per route run is terrible. And it was like, yeah, but a lot of times he's doing the clear out stuff. Yep. Like they're running dagger and he's the clear out on the inside as the number 2. And then the dig is coming behind him. Like, and he's clearing that out. Like doing those dirty work stuff or those dirty work routes matters. So I think Brady preaching that matters a ton just in general, because you need that in your wide receiver room. You need everybody to go to 100 miles an hour 100% of the time, because a lot of these concepts funnel in together, especially when you're kind of building full field concepts and everything ties into, the quarterback being able to go from 1 to 2 to 3. That means 1 has to do his job and 2 has to do his job and 3 has to do his job and like all of that. And then even more so, like that mentality tying into they're a run first team. Maybe not run first, but the run is the foundation of the offense, meaning you're going to have to run block a lot. So that type of selflessness as a route runner also needs to be displayed as a run blocker. And that's, I think, even harder, because when you're just running, even if you're not getting the ball and you're running a clear out route, you're running a route. But now as a blocker, you have to expend energy and also get hit and or doing the hitting. So it's a physical toll as from a contact perspective, in addition to like an exertion perspective.
Well, this from playing contact sports. Like there's also a mentality to it.
Oh,
you have to build a mental toughness to get hit every play over and over and over again.
1,000%. Whether you're the hammer or the nail, like it requires a little bit of a switch that has to get flipped to some degree. And I think, that selfless nature is tied into the identity of what the offense is. That's why you go for kind of these body types at wide receiver and these skill sets with some of these traits. It's to be able to pass in a certain way and hit certain things, but it's also to be able to live in condensed formations and reduce formational width and mash nickels and safeties and linebackers and edges sometimes. And
there's also this idea though that, like, I don't know, you wear on a team.
Yeah.
Wear on a team and you physically wear on them. And when you're still doing it in the fourth quarter, you watch guys like, here's what I think about. I think about all the wide receivers in the NFL who we ever thought were going to be great. And then they just failed. And you question why. You go, that guy was great in college. It's like, well, yeah, because he didn't have to play against NFL DBs. He didn't have to go play physical routes over and over and over again against guys whose mentality was, I will bang with you for 4 quarters, and we'll go out here and beat each other up for 4 quarters out here. And you saw, like, I think about guys like when the Patriots drafted Tyquan Thornton in the 2nd round. Tyquan Thornton was a very fast, very technical receiver. He had good hands. He had seemingly all the things that the Patriots could have used coming out of Baylor. What he didn't have was the tenacity for that aspect of football. And you watched him get chewed up and spit out by the NFL.
That's a different level, man.
They said, look, man, you can't run block? Okay, well, then what can you do? If you're not willing to run block, then I guess we have to put you as far away from the interior of the formation as possible. So you can't be a slot receiver if you won't run block, or if you're not the best route runner on earth.
Yeah.
So now you're going to live on the boundary. You know who you're going up against? Guys who are 6'1", 6'2", 200-pound DBs who are tenacious. They will press you. They will ride you the entire way down the field, and they just break you over the course of a game if you don't have that.
Yeah.
I always laugh when people talk about superheroes. And you think about the Avengers, you think about everything. And then you get to the Punisher. And somebody once on Twitter was like, it turns out the Punisher superpower, he goes, he admitted he had never seen the Punisher before he saw the Netflix thing. He goes, okay, so you mean to tell me this dude's a Marvel hero and the only power he has is just having more dog in him than anybody else?
Yeah, that's it.
Like, that's it. That's all he has going for him is that he has more dog in him than anybody else.
That's a superpower.
And it's like, yeah, you have to have that to play in the NFL because otherwise the other guy will every week chew you up and spit you out.
Yeah, and that also, I mean, connects to the offseason too. Like you have to, and everything. It's not even just having that like tenacity for the field and that discipline for the field. It's off the field. Like, how are you studying? How are you working out? How are you preparing? How are you taking care of your body in season? How are you doing that out of season? Are you working out mechanics and routes and studying and like everything? It's a mental and physical battle week in and week out, even throughout the offseason for as much as you are in the league. And for some guys, it's 1 year, and some guys it's 10 or 11 or 12. Like, yeah, it takes a significant level of dedication and discipline. And I think that ties into like the tenacity and then the physicality on top of it. And you're battling through injuries and being hurt and always feeling like crap in a certain way. And you add the mental stress, the physical, everything, like the emotional pieces as well. Yeah, it takes a toll on you.
You have to learn how to be a pro.
Yes.
There's such a thing as learning to be a pro football player.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to do. And then you break it down to the microcosm within a game. Yeah, like if you've got people like running the ball on you for like 3.5 quarters, say you get to that fourth quarter and it's like 3:15 on a Sunday and you've been playing for 2 hours and 15 minutes and they're running the ball for the 30th time. And you're just like, oh, again? Like it takes, and you hear offensive linemen talk about it, defenses talk about it. There's just something different about like the run game. Like having someone pass on you for 400 yards sucks, but having somebody like run on you for 300, like that takes your soul. Like that's a different level of something.
When
and
the
I think
Bills
that speaks
used to play
piece.
the Patriots in all those blowouts, the thing I remember most was just when they would run the ball. There was the game we were winning. I think it was like 21-3 or it was 28-7. We were up at one point. It was 2012. It was the year after we beat them here, and we had a big lead. And they came out in the second half down 20 points. And all they did was make us put, what was his name? Byron Scott, I think his name was.
Oh, yeah, safety number 43.
So he was our big nickel. They made us put him on the field, and then they ran the ball for 200-plus yards in the second half. Because they were like, oh, force the Bills to go light, take those linebackers out the field, and then we're going to punish them with the running game. And it was an embarrassment. And you saw that team fold because they weren't mentally tough. They didn't, not only were they not equipped for that, they also physically weren't ready for it. And then mentally they just broke.
Yeah, fitting the run and defending the run as a defense, takes a certain mentality on top of the physical piece as well. And this is kind of known if you play the game or just even if you watch, you get a sense of it. But I've asked that question to every defensive player we've ever had on the film room. I have asked that thing, talk about the mentality of fitting the run, and it takes a mentality. God, that's ugly as
Buffalo
hell.
was up 21-7 going into the third quarter, and they lost 52-28.
It's terrible.
Look at this. Look at this. Fourth quarter, Rob Gronkowski pass. But then Stephen Ridley, 2-yard run. Brandon Bolden, 7-yard touchdown run. A Brad Smith, 35-yard pass.
That's us.
From the Bills. But then it's we had nothing. Brandon Lloyd. Guys, they just hammered us. Bolden had 137
Brandon
yards.
Bolden had 16 carries for 137 yards.
That's what I'm talking about. They just eviscerated us with the run.
Brady also threw 22 of 36 for 340. God, we were just, Fitzy had 4 TDs. It's such a Ryan Fitzpatrick line. 22 of 39, 350 yards, 4 tutties, and 4 interceptions.
Anybody can go out and throw the football around. You got to mash. And if you mash, you win a lot of football games. I think
especially in today's NFL.
It was good getting to see that our team gets coached in a way that promotes being the hammer instead of the nail.
Well, yeah, and it also, that's the meta in offensive football now. The best offenses are teams that can run the ball in some form or fashion. You look at a lot of the Ravens, even the Chiefs for the past couple of years. The thing that I always go back to, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, Mahomes goes down against the Jags in the playoffs for the Chiefs, and Chad Henne goes in, and the drive starts at like the Chiefs like one or two. Yeah, and everybody's like, like Jags are in. Come on, Henne's in there, and the Chiefs are like, no, we're just going to run the ball 10 times down the field and run through your throat. Same thing in that Super Bowl. Mahomes had the ankle was still banged up. He bangs it up again against the Eagles. They come out in the second half. They just run the ball a ton. And like running is the way to go. That's how time is a flat circle, and all these defenses have gone too high and nickel and lighter bodies on the interior to rush the quarterback. So now teams are going heavier to run the ball and mash and put nickels and those body types into hell. And you look at the Bills, you look at the Ravens, you look at the Lions, you look at the Packers, you look at the Buccaneers. Those are just rattled off the top. The Eagles, I mean, their numbers weren't necessarily great all the time last year, but when they turn it on, like all these top offenses, from an eye test standpoint, from a schematic X's and O standpoint, and from a metric standpoint, they all can run the ball, and they all do run the ball, and they put you in hell with it. That is where you want to be, and that's what the Bills did last year. Stephon Diggs is out. All these other receivers are out. We're bringing in Matt Collins to eat snaps and Keon Coleman, and we're bringing in these bigger, even Shakir can block now. Like, he's moved up into that spot. Like, we are bringing in bigger body types at wide receiver to be able to be a threat to block and or run routes and catch passes, so that way we can access more of the play calling menu without having to turn the page. And that's the meta for NFL football now, because defenses have changed the game, and so offenses are changing it back.
So it's going to be fun to see which one of these people can really latch onto this. And I guess it's probably time we talk a little bit about this preseason game.
Sure.
If we're talking about what to watch for, watch for me on TV with my children. I'm going to have my kids at this game, and it will be their only, actually not their only. For season ticket holders, they're doing an event at the stadium where the week 2, a watch party at the stadium for the Jets game.
In the stadium.
Oh,
that's cool.
Complimentary food and beverage.
Whoa.
Pictures on the 50-yard line, tours of the locker room.
Tons of smelling salts.
I need to, like, because my heart was breaking thinking Saturday was going to be my only opportunity to ever have my kids in the stadium for a game, and Josh wasn't going to play.
Yeah, it sucks.
And then I see this in my inbox today when I woke up, and I couldn't have bought the ticket. I didn't even talk to my wife about it. I just did it and then told her about it. I was like, this is a non-negotiable. We're doing this. So it's going to be interesting. Like, first of all, no Josh. We know that. But also, you look at other teams are doing the same thing, right? Nobody wants to put. Do you ever want to see Josh in the preseason if you don't have to?
I like to see the starters to some degree. I think having some live bullets in the preseason matters. But to your point, like you also don't want them to risk it. Like it's such a risk reward type of like, what's the long term benefit?
I feel like it's such a fake.
Unless you're the Colts.
Fair.
I feel like it's such
Richardson's already injured.
I did not know that.
Wait, did he just get hurt tonight?
Yes.
That's what I was watching for. Damn it.
And the Daniel Jones saga continues.
All right, I have a hilarious tweet here, bookmarked. It's right here. The double hitch into the dirt ball. The Daniel Jones classic lives on. This clip. Watch this clip.
All the narratives out of Colts camp have been, yeah, that is so Daniel Jones. All the narratives out of Colts camp have been like that it's a true competition and this and that. Like, man, that's kind of taken a turn. Oh, Keaton Mitchell, 22 years. Man, Keaton Mitchell he's got to earn it again. And they like Justice Hill and they have Derrick Henry, but he's so fast and he's such a different element. He was really fun before he tore his ACL 2 years ago.
I'm really hoping he doesn't get a ton of run week 1 because that would upset me.
I mean, Baltimore's going to run all over the Bills in week 1.
So not having Josh Allen out there in the field, I just feel like it's this fake tough guy thing. People go, no, you got a good experience. That's how you get good. And that's the mentality that has Sammy Watkins out there playing in a meaningless preseason game and gets him hurt in week 4 of the preseason. And then he's not good for you week 1 because he's got bruised ribs. And you go, Doug, what the hell?
Yeah, but for every one of those, there's been lots of guys who have seen tons of snaps in the preseason. It carries the risk reward. Sure. I do think you need to get some kind of rhythm from a live bullets perspective. It could be one drive. It could be one drive each game. It could be like just something to kind of get yourself right. I just don't want my starters, their first game experience is week 1 of the regular season. Especially in this instance, week 1 on Sunday night, you're geeked up, you're amped up. Tons of smelling salts all on the sideline. Everybody's just wide-eyed, ready to attack. And then you got Baltimore coming in. I would give me some kind of rhythm. And again, it doesn't have to be everybody together. It could be sporadically. It could be a quarter. It could be a drive. It could be half of a quarter. I do believe there is value to playing your starters to some degree in the preseason, but it's also wonky now too because you have an odd number of games. it's weird. Like it used to, we always knew the old rhythm, like nothing in week 1 or week 2. Week 3 is the dress rehearsal, and then week 4 doesn't matter. Like now it's like, oh, when do we play him in week 1 and not play him at all? Do we do week 2? Do we still do
They're
week 3?
still trying to dial it into science.
It's weird.
Are you excited to see first round pick Jackson Dart?
Kind of.
I'm morbidly curious.
He had some moments at
I
Ole
watch
Miss.
SEC football, so
Yes.
I watch Jackson Dart play a lot.
And he had some cool flashes at Ole Miss.
He had great plays, bookended by some really wild decision making.
Horrible. He would make some turnovers. I remember one game. I tweeted about it. I forgot who they played. It was maybe like Ole Miss and Florida this year. It was like a great game.
Oh yeah, Ole Miss Florida was an awesome game. It was
like
an all-timer.
Jackson Dart was like driving them down, and he throws a horrible pick.
Yep.
And he goes to the sideline, and you just feel absolutely terrible for him because you can tell he's so dejected and things are bad. But then they get the ball back, and you're like, oh, he has a chance to redeem himself. And I think he throws another horrible interception, like first play when they get the ball back late in the 4th to try and tie it. Yeah. Jackson, the headline, Jackson Dart, those 2 late interceptions.
Unranked Florida beats number 9 Ole Miss, knocks him out of college football playoff contention.
He would pull like.
And there he is. He's crying in the chest of his offensive lineman.
He would throw like a, no pun intended, he'd throw like a 50-yard dart, and you'd be like, wow, that's gorgeous. And then he'd scramble and run for like 40 yards. You'd be like, wow. And then he would just throw it right to a safety. You'd be like, what? And that Florida game.
Even the safety was shocked. He's like, oh my God.
And that Florida game, I specifically remember that because he was so dejected. Like he was already kind of crying on the sideline because he threw that pick, and they got the ball back with good time to try and win it. And you were like, oh, okay, like he's got a shot. And he immediately first play back, threw a pick again. And you're just like, okay. And so,
and you just felt like the stadium again. Rammer Jammer Yellowhammer, I don't give a piss. The only thing I want to scream is go to hell, Ole Miss.
What is that?
That is compliments of Mississippi State, sir. It's
wow.
Hell, it's our state. Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that.
My buddy went to Mississippi State. It was awesome. And I used to be able to go down there and watch SEC football.
Oh, wow.
And one of my favorite pastimes was they would do the anthem. And as soon as the anthem got done being played, there's at least a third of the place that would just scream, go to hell, Ole Miss! And it was the best.
It's different.
So I'm interested to see if Jackson Dart looks the part of a first-round draft pick at quarterback. He's going to be playing against backups. It's like if you were going to shine in the NFL, you'd think now's the time where you would show some of those flashes.
Yeah.
Also, I don't think any of the guys in this class were really he had a ton of upshot. Not the guys after the first one.
No, I even Cam Ward has his warts, and I'm a Hurricanes guy. So Cam was awesome last year, but yeah, I think Ward was clearly QB1. I think you can make a case for everyone else. I thought Shadur was super overrated and not going to be anything in the NFL. We'll see kind of what happens there. Yeah, but the rest of the class was all. Well, I mean, you could have made the case that Jackson Dart was the second best quarterback in the class. And if you really wanted to push for one, I don't think it's completely crazy. Although I would have found it surprising to put anyone ahead of Cam Ward. And especially with the quarterback situation there, Russ isn't the long-term option there. Daboll is kind of maybe fighting for his job.
Don't talk about my BFF like that.
Fair enough. And then their defense, a lot of changes, but some good dudes from last year. They look to have a nasty front and then a fun secondary on the back end, especially if Banks can be not a liability like he turned into last year versus his rookie year. They could have an actual good defense. And then we'll see what they can be on offense. And so, yeah, Dart's it's always fun to see a rookie quarterback, especially when you know they're going to get a lot of snaps, which he should.
So with Josh out, it's Mitch Trubisky and Mike White. And it's, I don't know.
We're pro Mike White over here.
First of all,
give me Mike White.
Here's something you shouldn't look for if you're watching this game. Don't look for meaningful, anything you see take place in terms of the game of football that's going to get played in front of you. Do not take that as a projection of what the football team is, because we lost 33-6 last year in our preseason opener to the Bears, and it meant absolutely nothing when the regular season started.
I mean, they ran the ball all over the Bills, and that continued. But aside from that, yeah,
I can't wait to talk to you about that later tonight. So when I think about this, I called my shot in the spring that Trubisky would not be QB2, but he is starting the preseason game. And McDermott said his name. He did this weird thing where he goes, yeah, so Josh is going to sit out. Mitch is going to get the start. Mitch. And Mitch, and he just kept saying, Mitch. And I was like, how many more times? Are you trying to convince me? Yeah. Are you saying his name because you want me to feel more confident?
Trying to put it in my brain, like Costanza.
And I guess I just look at this and say, like, for most of these games, there's guys in the bubble, and we know that people are fighting for roster spots. Mm-hmm. QB2 getting like probably half and a half at the quarterback position.
Yeah.
Is there a guy you like in this so far through camp?
I like Mike White more than I do Trubisky. He just seems so gun shy to actually throw the football. And I don't think he has the full on like yips. I just think like what happened in Chicago broke him as like a person and a quarterback. Like,
this is a Pro Bowl quarterback.
Yeah, they traded.
That means anything.
Fair. They traded. Yeah, Pro Bowl's a joke. They traded up for him. He has a good rookie year. They were a missed field goal away from winning their opening playoff game that year against Philly.
Yeah.
Like they should have made that kick, but they missed it. And then but you're still thinking like, oh, like, that sucks. We should have gone to the Final Four in the NFC, but we have our rookie quarterback is the truth. This defense is awesome. Like this is going to be sick. And then Trubisky just regresses significantly and the Bears fall apart. And I feel like, especially being in like that city, like it really did a number on him mentally. And I think that he plays very timid.
So he was Blake Bortles, but with tougher press.
I just don't know. Man, I don't know if Blake Bortles was like ever good, especially because that time, like I wasn't watching like tape and I don't really
He always just played with the lead. He never had to push the envelope.
He won me a fantasy championship because they would always be down by like 30 in the fourth, and then he would finish the game with like 300 yards and 4 touchdowns because they would just throw the shit out of the ball for the entire fourth quarter. But yeah, like I just think he's too gun shy and timid to. Again, if Josh goes down, like the offense is largely kind of screwed anyway, even with how good the run game is. But I would much rather have Mike White, even though it's like not amazing. The past couple of years, like. He's got a couple 300 and like 400-yard games under his belt. Like he's slung it a bit. He has shown that capacity. I just haven't seen that from Trubisky in literally like 4 or 5 years. He just doesn't have it.
Yeah.
And I think White has a little more like, I'm going to push the ball.
Well, he's composed.
I'm going to try and make a throw. Yeah.
The thing that he does is he's not the athlete Trubisky is.
No, not at all.
He's never going to fool anyone with his footwork in the pocket, the way he evades pressure. He's not going to make downfield throws that make you think like, oh man, this guy could step in.
But he'll push the ball. He'll
try,
and he'll get gored from Matt Milano and try and come back.
And he'll make decisions and he'll make them decide. Like it sounds stupid.
Making decisions decisively.
But there's a thing to, I know what I want to do with the football. But then you watch, throughout practice, this was the thing, just talking to some of the journalists who were there. They said one of the crazy things about Trubisky is he'd have a read. And you could see that he had a read.
Yeah.
And he'd hesitate. And it's just like a, hey, and then he'd throw it, but you missed your moment.
Yeah, you'd see it on the tape. Like he'd go from like 1 to 2, and it's like you don't need to go from 1. One is there.
One was there. Just throw the ball.
1. Yeah, he just plays with trepidation. I think he still has kind of the athlete in him, but he doesn't play athletic. He just plays timid.
Looks like Tarzan, plays like Jane.
I don't know if he looks like Tarzan. I don't even know. I think Jane gets a bit of a bad rap. She was a tough cookie in and of herself, depending on what version Tarzan you go with. But yeah, he just plays too timid, and it's not ideal in any way. But especially with some wide receiver. There's been a bunch of wide receiver injuries, right? Like Moore has missed some time, Palmer's missed some time, Samuel has missed time. Like there are some guys that are having an opportunity to like solidify a spot at the bottom of the depth chart. And so I would like them to get an opportunity with a guy who's at least going to throw it instead of being like, oh, let me drop back and eat it. It's like, no, throw the ball, guy.
That's where this gets so interesting because not only are we watching a quarterback battle play out, a legitimate one, because the Bills have a financial reason not to have, like, financial interest in not having Trubisky around.
Yes.
You also look at guys like Shavers and the race for wide receiver 6, and you say to yourself, Joe Brady said emphatically, I trust that guy. I trust him. And then McDermott goes, yeah, we've got a larger sample size with a guy like Shavers, and he's been around, and we like what we see. It almost starts to feel like he's got the inside track on that job, but he's still going to go out there and do it in live football.
Yeah.
And so this becomes an opportunity for him to really showcase, like, hey, I belong here. The problem is he's got to have a decent quarterback throw the ball. I mean, now you can watch tape and see what he's doing in a vacuum.
Yes.
To a certain degree.
Or on a field.
If he's running his routes well, you can see that. If he's run blocking well, if he's covering on special teams well, you don't necessarily need a savant performance. And so if he does not perform well, you can't just necessarily look. If you walk away from it disappointed by Tyrell Shavers, it's not all to blame on the quarterback situation. It's not like, because the only reason you look good can't be because Josh Allen's your quarterback. You have to be able to prove that you're a quality football player in all phases.
Yeah.
And so in that way, I'm really interested to watch how that rotation of wide receivers plays out when real football with sometimes suspect quarterback starts getting played.
Yeah. And there's even like Jalen Virgil got some burn last year, really just as like a motion and decoy guy, but like he's got some speed. He's made some plays during camp. Like Wilkerson has kind of come on a little bit. He also rocks lime green cleats, which I think is awesome. Like it's just a weird, and even you could make a case for like a lot of dudes at the bottom of the depth chart. Like I know your favorite Laviska Shenault is still hanging around there, but yeah, like it is, to your point, like you can watch tape and be like, oh, so-and-so's still doing his job. You know, he didn't get any targets, but he's still looking good out there. He's doing X, Y, and Z. But it's annoying to have a position that is somewhat dependent on another position, i.e. the quarterback. And if the quarterback doesn't do his spot, that's why I remember being super hyped when they got Case Keenum a couple of years ago. Because it's like, oh, like all the preseason wide receivers can have an actual, like Case Keenum's not amazing, but he'll go out there and he'll sling the ball a little bit. So we'll kind of get to find out some stuff about these receivers. Like I feel that way, not to the same level of Keenum, but like some way with that with Mike White. I have no hope if it's Trubisky. Like you just know what he is.
It's funny you're talking about like quarterbacks and things being weird. Hang on a second.
What is happening?
So
I don't like this at all.
Yeah, you see that?
It's just sneakers. Those are sneakers.
They're not just sneakers. They're K-Swiss tubes. And
are you proud of it?
I am proud of it.
Why?
The Matt Castle commercial from years ago where K-Swiss tubes. Oh my God.
I've never heard of K-Swiss tubes.
K-Swiss. We let the dogs out.
What?
K-Swiss tubes.
Are you making this up?
You didn't see it? I'm going to make you watch this.
I've never seen
it. Him and Kenny McBride.
Who?
Danny McBride.
Danny McBride. Kenny Powers.
Oh, you said Kenny McBride. Yeah, I know Kenny Powers. I've never seen this commercial.
Oh my God! So
Matt Castle,
Matt Castle,
when he was with the Chiefs,
and Danny McBride doing a commercial right before he like played for the Buffalo Bills, where it's a K-Swiss tubes commercial, and he's doing the media pitch. Oh my God!
Hold on, time out though. But you just happen to buy these shoes, or did you buy these because you remember? Okay, that's it. Okay, fair.
But so I'm wearing these shoes, and it made me think of it when you said quarterbacks were up, and you're talking about guys who maybe aren't very good and the quality of quarterback. Do you remember when Matt Castle was a Bills quarterback for all of what? How long was Matt Castle a Bills quarterback?
Wasn't he gonna be? He was on like line to be a starter potentially that offseason. Right?
It was him.
Kevin Cobb,
EJ Manuel,
AJ McCarron.
No, it was him. It was EJ Manuel. It was Tyrod Taylor, all battling for the starting gig.
Oh, and Tyrod won it.
And Tyrod won the job.
Oh, so it was It was the Rex year.
And the thing I remember from that is someone saying, if you have a battle at quarterback, you don't have a quarterback.
Oh yeah, if you have two quarterbacks, you have no quarterback.
We live in an era where we never have to worry about that Matt Castle conversation.
I remember I was living in New York at the time, and I remember
tubes. I'll never be the Bills quarterback.
That's crazy. Shout out to K-Swiss. You gave him a sponsor of the pod. I remember that Tyrod kind of balled out in a preseason game, maybe against the Browns. Somebody. I remember because I was living in New York at the time, and my train was out, and I remember I had to walk from essentially like Harlem to where I lived in the Bronx. And I was like, just the whole time, like hoofing it. And I was like, I need to get home for the start of the Bills game. Tyrod's going to start. And I was a little bit of a Tyrod believer from his time in Baltimore. And yeah. Oh, wow.
Were you wearing that hat while you were doing this?
I wore my Red Sox hat throughout New York all the time. Yeah.
He stands on business, Chris.
10 toes down.
On the defensive side of the ball, there's a lot of things everybody's eyes could be drawn towards.
Right quick before we get to defense, Anthony Richardson is out for the rest of the game because his hand looks like Booger McFarland's.
Oh no, that's no good. His throwing hand?
Oh boy.
I don't know what hand I saw on Twitter a picture of his hand.
I don't want to know. Don't tell me.
His pinky was.
Please stop. Shut the fuck up.
See, I love that shit.
I don't like that.
That's
why I can't look at who's Brian Baldinger.
Yeah. All these hands are all fucked
his
up.
ring finger's like permanently on a 47-degree angle. I'm not looking.
This finger got stuck in a kid's face mask and was behind these
two. Drew.
And I had to look at it.
But seriously, shut up. Just be quiet.
But so did the kid whose face mask it was stuck in.
No.
And at one point, we made eye contact.
I really don't like this kind of stuff. Shut the fuck up. You're just gonna go hard. I don't want to do this.
Hold on, Anthony. It's odd that you're uncomfortable with Baldinger's hands and Booger McFarland's hands, but their hands are the equivalent of what happens in Drew's mouth, and you're okay with it. Teeth in all different directions.
I don't like dislocations and breaks. So like finger stuff, or like when ankles dislocate and go like 90 degrees. I'm not like.
I'm with you on that.
If somebody's bloody or whatever, I'm like fine. But yeah, I don't want to see like a digit or a leg break. Yeah, I'm not about. So like, I don't want to see Joe Theismann's injury. Alex Smith. No, the last injury I ever saw and watched. No, well, I looked up the Theismann injury on YouTube when like YouTube first became a thing, and that was a mistake. That was the last injury I've ever seen. The one before that was when Willis McGahee's knee exploded against Ohio State in the Natty.
Yep.
And I was a huge Miami fan. I was watching it, and I remember him planting and Will Allen coming up, and you could just see his leg just disconnect as everything in his knee exploded. And I was like, I could never. Plus, I was superstitious, and I was always afraid, like, if I saw that,
then it would happen to you.
Yes,
it's like the ring.
Yes.
I saw it. It's going to come for me.
I would be scared of that stuff. But yeah, like finger, like, yeah. No, yeah. Or like when Paul George broke his leg or ankle, or Kevin Ware, the Louisville player. Like, I haven't watched those. I haven't seen them. I turned the channel. I don't want to know.
I can know that this is legit. It's not a bit. He's not doing a work over here because he's doing the thing that I do with sharks. Like the things that you're most afraid of, you know everything about them.
Yeah, but
you study them and you know instances and things. I'm that way with sharks. I know everything about them. My kids watch Shark Week, and I'm like quoting the narrators and sometimes like fixing inaccuracies in there, like what the narrator's saying about sharks, because I'm terrified of them.
Yeah, I don't. If we weren't doing the show, when you started to talk about it, like I went la la la, so I couldn't hear you just because I knew I had to be here. If not, I would, like, we were just hanging out, I would have just gotten up and walked out of the room. not even to be dramatic, and I wouldn't have been upset. I would have been like, oh, you guys are going to talk about this? I'm gonna go excuse myself for a minute. Yeah, I don't want to know. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to envision it. And then, because if I envision it, it's probably worse than what actually happened. But that means I have to look at what actually happened. So it's a lose-lose. So fuck you guys. Thanks so much.
So let's wrap this up by looking at the defensive side of the ball. One of my things is, with all these new faces on the defense, you're going to get to see a bunch of our new guys go up against people who are not NFL starters. And on the Giants, even their starters probably shouldn't be NFL starters in some cases.
Shots fired.
Especially on the interior of the offensive line. And for me, it's TJ Sanders. I'm very excited because, like last year, Daquan Jones made an active week 1. Oliver barely saw the field, and you saw a bunch of backups get to show off their wares. There's no incentive to playing Daquan Jones or Oliver in this game. So they will be inactive again. And when they are, this is a guy who's been talked about over the last 2 weeks as flashing both in the run and pass game, which is not what I think, yourself included, you have to admit, probably didn't think he'd be as good against the run as he looked.
Let me finish your thought.
Because I know you were a Tyleek Williams stan.
Well, no, but also here, the way he's been flashing reportedly, he's penetrating. Like
he's doing the 3-tech thing.
Yeah, he can penetrate all day. My thing has always been, let's see what happens when they run duo towards him or get some double teams and displace him off the ball. Also, to each their own. And I have my eyes glued to the trenches when there was no pads on, but I was there for days when multiple people reported, man, TJ Sanders lit the world on fire today, and I didn't see that shit at all. So now, to each their own.
Okay, so that's why, knowing that you're on this side of the coin.
And that doesn't mean he's bad or he didn't do good. I don't want anybody to be like, Anthony thinks TJ Sanders sucks.
No, but this is why I'm asking you about him, because you represent one half of the coin. On the other side, you have all these people heaping, training camp day praise in there.
And a lot of that praise was generic and bullshit. It's like, oh man, TJ Sanders eyeball emoji. Tell us what he did.
In my 700 words that I have to write today, I'm going to tell you TJ Sanders looked really great. I read all these articles and they go, oh, so he made 1 or 2 really good pass rush reps. What about the rest of his day, though?
Oh, I didn't even know it was that.
And then within that, technically, what did he do to get that pass rush rep, and why did he win? Was it a fluke? Was it just him, was it a really nice technique, arm over, right timing?
Who was it against? Was it play action, and it was just like a down block, and he just happened to beat it?
And so this is why watching him, I'm fascinated to see if this is all just people blowing smoke up my ass, or if he's actually looks good against guys who, one, there's no vested interest in them being kind to TJ Sanders. And also the idea that these are guys, if you look at the Giants offensive line and the makeup of it, they don't have a ton of talent, but everybody on their team, from starters on the interior to backups, at least have floated around. They're journeymen. So you're talking about guys who aren't rookies. These are other experienced NFL offensive linemen, and I think that makes for a really good litmus test, don't you?
I think that's fair, yeah, especially when you're not going up against like the A squad or the ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And
you're not putting up against Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith. What you're doing is you're putting them up against guys who reasonably would probably be fighting for a roster spot on some other NFL team if they weren't in the Giants.
Yeah.
Which means you belong here.
Fair. And I'm excited to see like how he and Deion Walker and the other guys in the interior, like how they rotate him, Walker, Carter, who's playing 1 tech the most, who's playing 3, because you're going to see a lot more double teams like at the 1 than you are at the 3. Though it's still possible for both. And just, I have a lot of questions on the defensive line, especially on the interior from a positive standpoint, like in terms of like, oh, I want to see how this guy does. And even with Sanders, like I'm excited to see Sanders. I'm even excited to see Walker. I just think a lot of like the potential deficiencies that what I'm worried about, this is the way I'll put it, what I'm worried about isn't going to be quelled in the preseason.
No.
So, but I would still like to see the positive flashes. Yes. It would still be great if he went in and whooped the hell out of the 2s or the 3s.
And if it doesn't go well, you're going to go, all right, let's take a beat.
No, I'll still wait for the sample size to be there. But yeah, it will give me more trepidation.
Yes.
But yeah, I think the D-line is really, there's a multitude of guys. Like I'm excited to see Jordan Hancock. I'm excited to see Sanders. I'm excited to see this whole like rookie class. And even going from like,
I doubt they play Trey. Dorian Strong could see a lot of snaps.
I don't think Trey's going to see a bunch. Like Strong should get a bunch of reps.
And this is where, like, as a guy who hasn't been at the camps, a guy like Dorian Strong in the story, especially with the Maxwell Hairston injury, this becomes really interesting. He becomes interesting.
Yeah.
Because you say to yourself, here's an opportunity. We talked about Hard Knocks earlier. It would be crazy if Hard Knocks didn't sort of focus on this dynamic of like, hey, now there's an avenue to Dorian Strong making a case, maybe pushing a guy like Dane Jackson off the roster if he can play well enough.
I think some of, even just seeing in the scrimmage, like his run fits off duo were a little shaky. I think some of the hype for him has also been overblown.
Sure.
So I'm excited to see him.
And this is his opportunity.
Yeah. I'm really excited to see Javon Solomon. He's looked super friggin' good. Mm-hmm. Like to me, I'm not talking from reports. I'm saying from my own eyes.
We're going to talk about him in the live show. I can't wait.
He's looked super good. Like there's some good rookies and second year guys that can make an impact on this team in this year, but also like long term for future stuff. So there's a good opportunity for these guys. I'm excited. I mean, but I would also be excited even if they sucked and the football was terrible. I just want to watch real tape again.
Yeah, it'll be nice seeing real football people doing real football things.
That's right.
Guys, this has been a lot of fun just getting to ramble here about nonsense with our friend Anthony, but for right now, we got to get the hell out of here. I'm Drew Gear. That's Chris Kruger. Anthony, where can everybody find your show?
You can find my solo show called Disguised Coverage live on YouTube every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, and uploaded all the podcasting apps and platforms after that. And then I'm the co-host of the Cover One Film Room. That varies on the day when it drops, but in season it will be live on Wednesdays, usually in the evening. And then also, since for the time, I'm doing all the Cover One post-game shows after every single preseason game. So I will be breaking down what we saw, X's and O's, scheme, structure, individual player evaluation pieces, and then breaking down all the tape on social, on Blue Sky and Twitter right after that.
Go check it out. Make sure you subscribe. That way you get notified when he's scheduled. Guys, we did the thing. This has been your Rockpile Report.